The blood burn. Huh. Am I the only one who finds it fucking ironic that the leader of the Purity of Light is trying to save mankind?
Well, Lacane saved my life, and I owe him. That's all this is.
Makes sense. You know, I've always been somewhat fascinated by your father.
How so?
Well, his methods might have been questionable, but he was damn right about everything he said. He saw this whole shit show coming before anyone else did.
You mean the persecution of mages?
Yeah, but it's never been a secret that the people fear what they don't know, is it? It was only a question of time until that fucking hatred would pop open like a blister full of pus. Your father, Isamo Tahar, saw that coming and tried to stop it from happening. He had the guts to do what other people were too afraid to do.
Well, his goal was right, but his methods were wrong.
Yeah, the war is never pretty. Anyway, your story is as intriguing as your father's, I'll give you that. And since I don't exactly have many obligations, I'll take you up on your offer. If it still stands.
Why the sudden change of mind?
I told you. I like the idea of working with Isamo Tahar's living heir. And also I'm curious about what there is to this blood burn.
Well then, welcome aboard.
Thanks. We can also talk once we reach that city of yours. Mullendir, wasn't it? You said it's in Iskander?
Yes, but just wait at the border of Bargagor. We'll join you once we've done what we came here to do.
Sounds great. Let me just clean up the mess here first.
Sure.
Wait a moment.
What is it?
The strange human I've been telling you about. The one with the powerful aura. I think he is here, along with something else.
Something else?
Yes. Let's be careful.
Ellen's reins. These goblins were mutilated. What creature would do such a thing?
Well, Bargagor isn't the most hospitable place on Io. So the answer is... many.
Here we go.
We'll make short work of them.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. And I'm not sure I like it.
Shit. What in blazes are you doing here? Get out!
Kill that thing! Now!
Focus. All right, here goes nothing.
Shit. Shit. What did you do?
Save your life?
Oh, really? Well, thanks for nothing, sir, hero. I invoked that demon. The Devourer.
You? Why?
To share a shrub of fucking grapes with her. To fight her, damn it! What did you think?
Her?
Yeah. I know that thing doesn't look like your average sailor man's fantasy. But according to the Encyclopedia Sinistra, Devourers only ever possess women. Thus the pronoun.
You summoned a demon to fight it?
Well, for that magic you carry in you, you certainly know shit about demonology. You're not a scholar, I take it?
I was a battle mage. Royal Army.
Figures. To learn how to control a demon race, you first need to fight it. Tame it, as we say. And guess what? That's just what I was trying to do until you popped in and nullified the fucking ritual.
We found a bunch of mutilated goblins further up the cave. Did the Devourer do this?
Yeah. I had some difficulties while casting the ritual, let's put it that way. A demon doesn't always show up where you want to conjure him. Sometimes when they sense something else near the gate, they simply materialize right there. In her case, it was the goblins.
That was foolish. She might have left the cave and gone rampant in the cows.
Well, she didn't, did she? And even if that would have been the case, you orcs know how to handle yourselves in battle.
That's interesting. Can you tell me more about the process of taming a demon?
What am I, your bloody teacher? Go read a book.
So, you just came to this cave in Barga Gore to battle a demon?
Why should I tell you?
You're the brooding type, aren't you?
No. I just don't get why four strangers who just fucking interrupted my ritual now think I'm gonna tell them all about my life. Don't you have, I don't know, somewhere to go?
We could use someone with your talents.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm not a mercenary. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Can we...
Save your breath, Tahar. He's not worth it.
Wait, Tahar? As in... Shit. You're his son? The betrayer's child?
I am.
Huh. That's unexpected. What in blazes are you doing here? I mean, shouldn't you be up in Greykeep with all your royal friends?
I should, but things happened. You want to hear the story?
Yeah, I think I do. The Bloodburn. Huh. Am I the only one who finds it fucking ironic that the leader of the Purity of Light is trying to save mankind?
Well, Akane saved my life, but I owe him. That's all this is.
Makes sense. You know, I've always been somewhat fascinated by your father.
How so?
Well, his methods might have been questionable, but he was damn right about everything he said. He saw this whole shit show coming before anyone else did.
You mean the persecution of mages?
Yeah, but it's never been a secret that the people fear what they don't know, is it? It was only a question of time until that fucking hatred would pop open like a blister full of pus. Your father, Isamo Tahar, saw that coming and tried to stop it from happening. He had the guts to do what other people were too afraid to do.
Well, his goal was right, but his methods were wrong.
Yeah, the war is never pretty. Anyway, your story is as intriguing as your father's, I'll give you that. And since I don't exactly have many obligations, I'll take you up on your offer. If it still stands.
Why the sudden change of mind?
I told you. I like the idea of working with Isamo Tahar's living heir. And also I'm curious about what there is to this Bloodburn.
Well then, welcome aboard.
Thanks. We can also talk once we reach that city of yours. Mullendir, wasn't it? You said it's in Iskander?
Yes, but just wait at the border of Barga Gore. We'll join you once we've done what we came here to do.
Sound.
Here we are again. This place still gives me the chills.
Well, at least we now have our new orcish friends to delight us with their company.
You don't seem happy about this.
I just don't like the idea of putting my fate into the hands of these savages. What happened there at Barga Gore was nothing short of a bloodbath.
Revolts tend to be bloody.
I know, but... never mind.
In any case, with our new allies, we should be able to go look for the stones. Let's talk at the forge.
Though it might be wise to look for more support first. We don't know what to expect there.
What's next? Interesting.
There you are again. Gore's new friend. I truly hope he knows what he's doing. Orcs following the orders of a pale skin. That hasn't happened before. But, to be fair, you've given me little reason to distrust you. You did great in that battle against Krell.
Thank you. So you're the commander of the Fire Wielders?
Chieftain. And I serve Gore, our High Chieftain, who follows your advice. In other words, I'm the third down the list. Mainly, I'm here to make sure our warriors stay in shape and are well equipped. And if you're willing to invest some coin, I might even come up with a way to permanently increase their strength.
I want to train the Fire Wielders.
All right?
Ah, Tahar.
Seems your men have made themselves comfortable.
Yeah, they have. There was a small disagreement between Flynn and the orcs, but we settled that, so it's all good now. But I'm guessing that's not what you came here for. You want to talk, right? About what I did 8 years ago?
Actually, I just want to know if what you said in Everlight is true. Do you regret fighting in the Mage Rebellion?
The big question. I guess the answer is mostly yes and partially no. I do not regret standing up for what your father claimed to be fighting for. But what I do regret is not seeing what he really was earlier. Look, Tahar, seeing Zane and Helena die, thinking that the same would happen to you, it killed me. But back then, I was just too blind. I still believed your father was doing good, and that you three were misguided. You see, I joined Asamo because there was truth in his words. The masks, the pikes, all that hatred against us defilers that the purity of light is spreading now. It was all already there. The people always feared us, simply because we were different. Because we are better than they. Your father, he knew something like that would happen eventually. So he stood up and tried to stop it before it was too late. At least that's what he said. And to be honest, I still don't know if he only lost that vision or had never had it to begin with.
I can't believe you're saying this. The reason the people hate us mages now is because of what my father did. He confirmed their fears for them by starting this goddamn war.
Oh, really? And what about all that shit that happened beforehand? The witch burnings, mages driven out of the cities, gifted children abandoned by their mothers.
Did you just say because we were better?
Yes, better. How else should I say it? We cast fire from our hands, heal wounds with a mere thought, so how would you call it? I call it superior, and the ungifted know it as well as we do. But does that mean that we want to kill them? No. We're not animals, we're people, just like they are. Only that we are the lions and they are the cats. We didn't choose to be that way, but it's what nature chose for us.
I don't know. But to me, it sounds like you're still trying to justify what you did in that war.
That's where you're wrong. It's not all black and white, Tahar. And you of all people should know that. I know I made mistakes. And I've spent the past 7 years making amends. What else do you think the Wayfarers are for? Why else would I have left? And look, I do not expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I could do it if I were in your position.
I remember that back in the Rebellion, ancient relics such as the Godstones were your speciality. Is there anything interesting you could tell me about them?
Interesting? That depends on what you mean by that. I mean, it goes without saying that what this rune allows us to do is beyond fascinating. Apart from that, I could only tell you the things you already know. How both the Hibernians and Shapers worshipped them and harnessed their magic. But that's about it.
So, regarding the Wayfarers, you said that you founded them to make amends. Is that true? And if yes, how did you found them?
Yes, otherwise I wouldn't have said it.
As to how I formed them, it's a long story. And maybe one we should save for later.
I want to talk about my father.
I figured you'd want to eventually. What is it you want to know?
My father never told me how he grew up. Do you know anything about that?
About his childhood? I'm afraid not. He shared some fragments of his past with me, but probably no more than he shared with you.
This might sound strange, but do you see any resemblance between him and me?
Interesting that you ask. Yes, there were moments where I could not help but notice that certain something that strongly reminds me of your father.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I think that the best way to describe it is a sort of look in your eyes. It's somehow distant, but at the same time driven and intense. And it can be both intimidating and charismatic. I believe that it's this energy that helped your father rally the noble houses and all these mages behind him. And ironic as it may be, it might help you with our cause too.
Do you think it's true that he was simply crazy?
Towards the end, yes. He had certainly lost his sanity. But before that, I still don't know. I've said it before, but there's one part of me that likes to think he was a madman to begin with. And then there's the other voice that tells me that he was merely a visionary who had lost his way. But if there's one thing I know, it's that he was a leader. Whenever he spoke to us, it was electric. To this day, I've never seen someone with his charisma.
You sound almost nostalgic.
Nostalgic? No. It's just... I've never met someone with that energy. You have some of it, Tahar. I only started to realize that here. But most of it is still asleep.
Let's discuss something else. I'll be off. Now, would you look at that?
Now look at that. The fabled Corporal. Good to finally meet you in person. I'm Flynn, second in command of the Wayfarers. I have to say, for someone who only led a puny Nortander division once, you're doing quite a good job leading an army so far. None of them saying I couldn't do better, but still. Anyway, if you come to arm our men, I strongly suggest you do so.
But you're armed already, aren't you?
Well, yes, with rusty swords and dented armors. I mean with proper equipment. If you give me the coin, I'll send out orders to my contacts in Everlight. It'll improve our strike force significantly.
I want to buy some better...
Music to my ears. What did you have in mind?
What do we need?
What do you want?
Just checking how you're settling in.
I'm good. Thanks. Interesting place you found yourself here. I'll give you that.
Back in the cave, you told me that you fought that demon in order to gain control over it. I'd still like to know how that works.
It's complicated.
That's it?
For now.
How did you end up in Barca Gore?
It's a long story. Suffice to say, I've been on the road for quite some time now. Barca Gore just happened to be my last spot before I ran into you. Let's talk about you instead. You've gathered a ton of followers, one outcast after another. Tell me, Tahar, do you trust them?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Good luck with that. To be honest, I don't understand how you can do it. You have that look about you, and it's driving me nuts.
What do you mean by that?
I've observed you on the way back from Barca Gore. The way you move, the way you talk. I get why other people follow your lead. I really do. You simply have some kind of strange charisma. It's not visible at first glance, but it's there. You give people hope. I guess that's what it boils down to. You attract outsiders, and you get them to march under your banner.
How is that a bad thing?
It's a bad thing because you're too careless. All these people, did it ever occur to you that they're outsiders for a reason? The treacherous orc, the renegade elf, the exiled dwarf? Still, you trust them. Even if you put your stern face on, I can see that you do. That's why people follow you. But trust doesn't protect from betrayal. But let's stop this right here, okay? I'm sure you have things to do, and so do I. Easy.
For decades, the Mohir elves, exiled from Finan Mir, have roamed Io in search of a new home. In Nortander, they were promised lands of their own. But as the Mage Rebellion arose, they were quickly forgotten. Now, years later, they have taken shelter in a nomadic settlement in Leafshade, a dense, dangerous jungle, amidst the no-man's land between Utran and Wolfgar.
All right. The Morhir settlement should be a little further to the north.
How long have the Morhir been living here?
Well, they left Finn and Mir about 30 years ago, and they were sent to settle here 8 years after their arrival. So that's 22 years now.
Quite long, considering Leafshade was just meant to be a stopover.
I'm sure they feel the same way. But then again, I understand why finding a new home for fugitive elves wasn't on top of the Crown's priority list after the Mage Wars broke out.
All right, then. What's the plan?
Well, I suggest we try to find their settlement first and then talk to their scryers. They're the ones who make the decisions.
Good. Then lead the way.
Corporal?
A traveler. Don't get many in these parts. What do you want? If you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place.
Who are you people? This is Elven territory, isn't it?
Huh. Elven territory, my arse. Just because the Morhir were allowed to put up their little town here doesn't mean they own the whole jungle. As for who we are, if you don't know, then you probably don't have any business here.
Can you let us in?
As I said, no. This isn't a roadside inn. Now, sod off.
Never mind. We'll be off.
Can't believe we're still having this discussion. Tell me, Arlen, where was Ellen in all those years when our people were on the run? Just face it, she never helped us. None of the Guardians did.
Well, maybe they would have if it weren't for heretics like you. We are Ellen's children, all of us.
We are the children of our mothers and our fathers, for heck's sake. If you are so pious, then why did you leave Finn and Mir in the first place? What we need is rationality and reason, not praying to the gods that have left us.
Heresy, Varden. This is heresy.
Salangar, a pure blood. Just when I thought this day couldn't get any better.
Not what I'd call myself. I haven't been in Finn and Mir for 8 years.
Is that so? Well, who am I to judge? Who let you in?
There weren't any guards.
What? Great. Just great. This is getting better and better. But please, forgive my manners. I'm Varden Merilith, second scryer of Lathwain. Who are you? And what do you want? Are you with the soldiers?
Soldiers?
The army folk. But if you have to ask, I suppose you're on your own. Tell me then, what brings you here?
That's a long story.
So you're the corporal from Lianon? Well, that's a surprise. I know the story, and once more I would like to apologize for what Scryer Elion did. She should not have opened fire. Also, I know about what happened to you afterwards. How the other soldier tried to frame you. I am honestly surprised you are still alive. The Royal Army isn't known for their leniency. Either way, your story sounds bizarre, but I don't think you are lying. And after the events in Lianon, it's only fair if we help you now, to make up for it. Not to mention the fact that the blood burn needs to be stopped.
So you'll provide us with troops?
It's not that simple. I have to bring up the matter before the other scryers, and they all have to agree. But not now. We currently have our own stack of problems to deal with.
Are you the leader of this place?
One of them, yes. I'm the second scryer, and the Moorhere Council is made up of 6 scryers in total. 7, actually, but our eldest passed away recently. Which complicates the decision-making, as you can imagine.
What problems do you have?
The short version? Leafshade has been struck by the blood burn. Elves and animals are affected, and for some reason it has a different effect on us than it has on your race. It corrupts us.
Corrupts?
Drives us mad. And if that weren't enough, the Council can't decide on a course of action. Pathetic, isn't it? People are dying, but all we do is bicker.
Where do you and Finrior disagree?
Oh, that's simple. Finrior claims that the corruption has nothing to do with the blood burn, but is a curse of the Guardians. Of Ellen, to be precise.
I take it you have a different view on that.
I do. The Guardians are gone. This is a fact we have to deal with.
So where do you think this corruption comes from?
As I said, I think it's just how we elves react to the blood burn.
How many of you are affected?
Not as many as in your kind. 1 in 10, maybe. And for some reason, the infection only spreads outside the city borders.
As I said, I'm trying to find a cure for the blood burn. Maybe I might be able to help.
You want this alliance to happen as quick as possible, don't you? Well, yes, maybe your knowledge about the blood burn could indeed help us. Give me a moment to think this through, will you? There are some things I need to consider.
All right. We should probably talk to the other scryer, too.
Huh? And Evran? What are you doing here?
What are these two arguing about?
I don't see why that concerns you. How did you get in here anyway? Get lost.
An Evran, aren't you? It's been a while since we got visitors. If you don't count those soldiers, that is.
Well, the short version is, we're looking for allies to end the blood burn.
A lofty goal. Are you sure you came to the right place, though? To us, the Moorhere.
Why wouldn't I?
I just thought the Finn and Mir with their treants and gilded armors would have been a better option. We are renegades. Outcast. But I suppose your pure blood friend told you as much already.
I'm not as pure blood as you think.
Be that as it may, best you talk to Finrior and Merilith, the first and second scryer. Maybe they'll listen to you once they're done bickering.
Where was your
Huh?
beloved Ellen?
What is
when
it?
they drove us out of
Who
whatever
are you?
village we seek
Just a
shelter in?
traveler. Don't mind me.
Guardians are gone, Arlen. Just admit it already. Maybe it's about time the
What?
Moorhair started relying
Who
on
are you?
reason
Who
rather
let
than
you in?
superstition.
The gate was unguarded.
Really? Next thing you know, this place is being overrun by undead because the guards have all gathered to hear us bicker. You're from Gravefell, aren't you? I recognize that accent. I'm Arlen Finriar, first scryer of this settlement. What do you want?
I'm looking for allies, but let me start from the beginning.
Ah, so, you're Isamo Taha's child. Well, you're lucky, I believe, that the Guardians have given us all a free will. I can see that you're nothing like your father, and it's true that the Bloodburn has to be ended. I can agree with those crazy cultists on that much.
So you're going to help us?
I would if I could, but as you may have gathered by now, we have our own battle to fight here. Ellen has cursed us.
Does this town have a name?
It does. Lathwain, which roughly translates as respite.
Respite. Sounds kind of temporary.
Well, it is. I don't know how familiar you are with our history, but after the Finnamir exiled us, we were promised lands by the Queen. Then the Mage Wars came, and understandably, our promised home wasn't of importance anymore.
This looks like a nice enough place, though.
Well, save for the undead roaming through the forests and attacking us each night, yes.
That incident in Leonon won't make the Lord Marshal more sympathetic to your cause. You broke the White Mist Treaty.
Yes, and it was a horrible mistake. But the people were scared. Particularly because Merilith did an excellent job at instilling fear and telling them that our little problem could be fixed by sending a group of scholars into Nortander territory. And what good did it do? Nothing. You'd think that this failure would have shown the Moria how incapable Merilith is as a leader, but sadly, it didn't.
I see. So Leafshade is only a stopover?
Yes. We will find our true home someday. I'm sure of that.
Ellen has cursed you?
Yes. Our lands are withering, and every 1 in 10 elves loses his mind. Their eyes turn black. They salivate like animals and attack everything in sight.
And you think Ellen has inflicted this curse upon you?
I know. You see, since we Moria left Finnamir, more and more of our people have fallen away from our faith. Some even blame the Guardians for our exile. Briefly put, we were cast out of the Finnamir Empire after we expressed doubts about the Elven Council.
Yes, I know the story.
As you can imagine, the years we spent on the road searching for a new home were strenuous. And as a result of that, more and more of our people lost faith in the Guardians, which is ironic, since our faith was one of the reasons we were cast out in the first place.
Well, you can't deny that the Guardians have become weaker.
That is true. But have you ever wondered why?
I guess you have?
Yes, indeed. They have withdrawn from this world because people have stopped believing. It has always been our belief, our unwavering faith, that had made them strong. Without it, there simply is no reason for them to care anymore.
You're assuming the Guardians behave like little children, take away their sweets, and they run off crying or start throwing tantrums.
It's not that simple. But I doubt this is the right time for a theological discussion.
Probably not.
And what does all this have to do with the corruption?
Isn't it obvious? It's Ellen's punishment for us turning our backs on her.
You mean...
Yes. Ellen has protected our kind for millennia. And now, we have betrayed her. This is her punishment.
If we help you lift this curse, would you be willing to ally yourselves with us?
Well, The Bloodburn is a scourge for all races, so, yes. Should you help us, I could take up the matter with the other scryers.
Now what?
Well, if there's any way to get their support, it's by helping them cure this corruption.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating, isn't it? I say we help the old one, Finrir. Merilith seems a tad too convinced of himself for my liking.
Then let's let them know.
All right, this is pointless. Does your...
Salagar, this is getting ridiculous. If nothing happens, we'll still be arguing.
All right, this is pointless. Does your offer still stand? An outsider who isn't dependent on the Council's approval might be just what we need.
I'm happy to assist.
You have no idea how good it is to hear you say that. Come, let's talk somewhere else. I've had enough shouting for today.
Now would you...
That's better. Ellen's reigns. Isn't it incredible how this fool is unwilling to see reason?
Well, from his point of view, you're the one being stubborn. He seems to think you're unwilling to see the facts.
I am seeing the facts. This isn't the first time the Guardians have laid a curse on us. Either way, all the better you're here. Let's discuss how we proceed. What we need above all is proof to convince Merilith. As long as he insists on brewing away that curse with just enough alchemy, we cannot take any real action.
What kind of proof did you have in mind?
That remains to be seen. First of all, scout Leafshade's surroundings. The curse seems to limit itself to the outskirts of our town. I will mark the place on your map where the activity has been most extreme. Secondly, there's a human military outpost nearby. To investigate, you'll need to ask for permission to cross their borders. After the disaster in Leonon, the last thing we want is another breach of our treaty.
If the jungle is corrupted, isn't it dangerous for us to scout it?
No. The infection doesn't happen instantaneously. If you were to stay longer, say 2 or 3 days, it might get you. But for now, you're safe.
Very comforting.
If it really is a curse, how are you planning to lift it from Leafshade?
I've asked myself the same question. But then I realized there's no point in worrying about it as long as that young fool is sabotaging our attempts to stop it.
Who are those humans?
Veterans, as far as I know. So far, our contact has been sparse, but they seem to be peaceful.
All right. Got it. We'll do our best.
Yes, and thank you. Never mind. Just do your best.
Oh, do you smell that?
Yeah, like carrion.
And the water is the same color as the blisters on the corrupted.
If you ask me, we just found the cause of this plague. And it's definitely not a curse.
Huh. A traveler. Don't get many in these parts. What do you want? If you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place.
Can you let us in?
As I said, no. This isn't a roadside inn. Now sod off.
Wait, not so fast. The Moir sent us. It's important.
The Moor here, huh? All right, fine. Come in, but make it quick. We already have visitors, and they aren't too fond of your employers.
Huh?
You should
Don't you think these
rethink your
soldiers will
position, old
recognize
man.
you?
The
I
light
doubt it.
doesn't show mercy.
Even if they
on
know
those who
General
betray
Mori is
it.
looking for me, they wouldn't know my face.
Well, maybe the light can show you the way out of my bloody camp instead.
You don't know who you're messing with.
Oh, I think I do. I'm messing with a bunch of renegade cutthroats who think they can walk into a camp of the Royal Army and make demands just because their lunatic leader told you so. So, one more time for the slow ones among us. We won't attack those elves. On the contrary, if you do as much as lay a finger on them, you'll have to deal with us too. Are we clear?
You...
Are we clear?
Yes.
What? Wait a moment. You? Gilbert Vilmas, 2nd Division Everlight Infantry, isn't it? Blazes. What are you doing here?
I think you're mistaking me for someone else. I'm not with the army.
Oh, am I? Huh. Could have sworn. Oh, well, never mind. Who are you then? And how the heck did you get in here?
The guard let me in. My name is Tahar, and I'm with the Moir from Lithuania. There's something we need to discuss.
Tahar? Like that sodding rebel mage bastard? Boy, I surely don't envy your name. Forentus Copper, 2nd rank sergeant to the Royal Army. So, what news do you bring from our elven friends?
Well, I assume you've taken note of this strange plague going on in Leafshade. The elves have sent me to investigate it, and are asking for permission to cross borders.
Granted.
Just like that?
What should I say? We need this plague gone as much as the more here. We've stayed away from the corrupted parts, aye, but we've nonetheless lost 3 men already. Just don't do anything unwise, and you can walk freely within our sectors. One more thing, though. There is something that we need done, and I don't have any men to spare at the moment. Would you be willing to help us as a sign of goodwill?
You seem to be rather relaxed concerning the corruption. How come?
Relaxed isn't the right word, but unlike that bloodburn plague, this one is predictable. Since we've stayed away from the jungle and within our walls, we've had no new infections. And unlike the more here, we're not permanent settlers in this place.
So you don't think the bloodburn has anything to do with it?
With the corruption? No, I doubt it. I mean, I'm not a healer, but the symptoms are very different.
Of course. What do you need?
Well, it's simple. Since we made camp here, some of my men and women have contracted a nasty kind of fever. We ordered a shipment of herbs from another outpost in the Utran lands, but it hasn't arrived, and the man I sent to get it has not been heard of ever since. Would you be willing to search the shore for my scout, or maybe the ship itself? The weather has been rough lately, and maybe it was wrecked.
Sure. Any idea where we should search?
Aye. Do you have a map? Here. That's where we were supposed to receive the shipment.
Got it. Thank you.
That's quite the detour. And again, having a good reputation never hurts, does it?
That was my thinking.
One more thing. Who sent you? I mean, who of the scryers?
Arlen Finrir. Why? Is that important?
No, just personal interest. Arlen and I are old acquaintances. He's a good man and a follower of the old faith. Don't have many these days. If you want, I'll send some of my men along to support you. They know the jungle, and they know how to wield a sword. What do you think?
That would be great.
Good. I'll let the sergeant know. Tell Arlen Forentus says hello, will you?
This is ridiculous.
Interesting.
Huh?
Who are you people? Nortander soldiers?
Aye, sure. We're humble servants of the Queen. Look, friend, I know what you are. A defiler. And if we weren't in the camp of that fucking coward right now, this conversation would go down a tad differently. So do yourself a favor and sod off before things change. 'Cause they will.
I think these are Bane. Purity fanatics. The ones Clara warned us about.
I heard that.
I'll leave you be.
Oi, you. Wait a moment.
Me?
Nah, say. Does the name Bertrand Carpel ring a bell for you?
Why? What do you know about Bertrand?
Not much. Only that he came by our camp just this morning and told me he was looking for someone. And the face he described looked just like yours. Anyway, I told him I had no bloody idea what he was on about. So he left. But asked me to leave a message if you should come by. Which heck knows why you did.
What's the message?
Just that he's up north somewhere, here in Leafshade, and that he'll be waiting there for you until dusk.
Huh. Well, thanks for letting me know.
Don't mention it. Safe travels.
Got it.
Attack!
No!
Is this really necessary?
Let's see. I hope you have a good explanation for this.
I do. I'm Iana. I and those 5 men were hired to kill you.
You're assassins.
We are.
Who are you working for? How did you know we'd be here?
You weren't as hard to follow as you think, Tahar. And regarding your first question, Amaria Leonider.
The House of Leonider? But why?
Well, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of people who want you dead, Tahar. The question should be, why her? And I'm afraid I don't have an answer for that. I'm not paid to ask questions.
Sorry, but I don't understand. Why did you help us?
I'm afraid that's complicated. Do you prefer the short or the long version?
Give me the long version.
All right. I didn't know much about you when I accepted the contract, save for the fact that you were a renegade soldier, and that you, together with an elf named Iria, escaped the Grey Keep prison somehow.
That would be me.
I thought so. Well, we followed your trail until Farland's Hope, where you entered that cave, wherever it leads. Since we couldn't follow you in there, we waited in the village. Well, and it was there I learned that you were after a cure for the bloodburn.
And that made you change your mind?
Yes. To be frank, I lost someone to the bloodburn. Someone very close to me. And even though nothing is going to bring her back, I want an answer. In other words, I want to offer you my services.
That guard who sent us here, he mentioned a friend of mine, Bertrand. Did you...
Harm him? No. I don't even know who or where he is. Leonider gave us that name and told us it would be a good lure. So we paid that guard a handful of coins to tell you his story. That's it.
And just why should we trust you? You're a sellsword.
I can't tell you what to do or feel. But think of it this way. If I had wanted you dead, why would I risk my life to save you? Furthermore, word that the assassination failed will get around soon enough. And mark me a betrayer among my kind. Even if I decided to murder you in your sleep, I would not get any money from it.
That friend you lost, who was it? How did she die?
I would rather not talk about it. Not here. Not now.
How can you help us?
Well, judging from the trail of blood you left behind, this won't be your last battle. I can make sure they'll end in your favor. Also, I am, how should I put it? Different. I can feel and see things others can't.
Huh. Such as?
Such as the fact that you are searching for something you're afraid you'll never find. There's a voice haunting you from beyond the grave. And you want to do that voice justice.
I don't know what you're talking about, woman.
Maybe. Only you can know this. Long story short, I'm a dreamweaver.
A dreamweaver? I've heard that before. So you're some kind of mentalist?
Close. Let it suffice to say that I feel and perceive differently than most people. In every aspect.
Fair enough. Join us, if you must. We need all the support we can get.
Thank you. There are some things I need to take care of before I'm fully at your disposal. I suggest you finish whatever business you have here, and then meet me at the route back to Iskander.
Will do.
Good. I will be waiting. And thank you.
Blazes! What has happened to it?
Tahar, I don't like how it's looking at us. I think we should leave.
What's next? The corruption. It must have taken hold of it.
That's odd. I get how this frenzy could be an elf's reaction to the bloodburn. But how likely is it that a treant reacts the same way? Not to mention all the animals.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Oh, you're serious about this, aren't you?
Yes. All right. Here goes nothing.
Fall.
Pathetic.
Interesting.
Yes? Did you find anything?
Two things. There's a treant who was affected by the corruption, which makes it likely that it isn't the bloodburn that's causing this. Secondly, there are strange pools further down the jungle, and they seem to be tainted somehow. I doubt this was Ellen's doing.
Tainted, you say? But could it be...
What?
Well, something like this happened before. In Finnenmere, over 2 centuries before. Which means, however, that I know how to solve this problem too. Blast it, why didn't I think of this earlier? I think it's time to let Varden in on the results of our little expedition. Come, let's talk at the square.
Did you say something?
Varden, our new friend found some interesting news that might be worth talking about.
What do we need? Now, would you look at that?
What?
While you were busy stirring up the masses against the Guardians, our new friend took the initiative and did some scouting. Care to tell him what we found?
Well, the corruption is neither caused by the bloodburn nor by the Guardians. There are tainted pools down in the jungle which seem to be responsible.
Pools? But...
Yes, Varden. They've been tainted.
Blazes. Of course.
What do you mean? What are those pools and how do we cleanse them from the taint?
They are... how should I put it? The life source of this forest. Apparently there's a cave full of Aria and Lenya beneath Leafshade, which is one of the reasons why this forest is so lush.
So the water is... magical?
Well, not exactly, but it's vital to the forest's survival. If it has somehow been corrupted, which your story suggests it has, that's bad.
And how do we cleanse them? Is this even possible?
Yes, but it's not an easy task. We'll need a lot of resources for that. And our most capable commander, Gilius, is not in Leafshade at the moment.
Well, if you want to, I can help. I've served as a commander for almost a decade.
I'm not?
If we do that, give you the command over this place until the problem is solved, do you promise by Ellen not to abuse your power?
Arlen, what?
Do you promise?
Yes, I do.
Good. Then I will instruct the citizens to follow your command. For now, at least. As I said, cleansing the pools is complicated, but possible. In order to do that, we will need to expand our sector. The ritualists need to have free and safe passage through the jungle.
I will do my best. What do we do once we've secured one of those pools?
Instruct our workers to cleanse them and make sure they are protected. If the animals are as savage as you claim, then they might be a real danger. Now, lest we get started. We've wasted enough time already.
Understood.
Good. Varden, send word to the guards. I will take care of the workers.
Well, that was quick. Let's make sure not to blow our chance.
Fair enough.
They ambushed us. Those fucking bastards ambushed us.
Who did? What happened?
The Bane. That tattooed whore. One moment it was all normal, then they started slitting our throats.
Shit. They're in control of your outpost now?
No. I'm just here because I wanted to stretch my legs. Most of my men were still too sick to fight because of that bloody fever. It was a massacre. Listen, friend, they want to burn that elven village to the ground. You need to stop them. Arlen, he's a good man. He...
May your rains cleanse him from his pain.
This complicates things. If the Bane is willing to slaughter a division of the Royal Army for their goals, they won't show mercy on the Moor here either.
Then we won't show it either.
Let's see.
Everyone truly smiles upon us.
Yes.
It's done, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Is it over?
I don't think so. Despite everything we did, I can still feel something. A touch of the taint still lingering in the forest. But we already have a suspicion what that might be.
The Treant.
Yes. And while you were cleansing the corrupted pools, we've been searching the tomes for a spell.
A spell? You mean it's possible to cleanse the Treant too?
Well, there's no certainty, but we hope so. As for the cleansing ritual, this magic hasn't been used for centuries. Still, it's our best chance. And you should be the one carrying out the task.
What? Why?
Because, from what I've been told, I doubt the Treant will let you speak to it without resistance. Remember, the corruption still has it in its grip. In other words, what you need to do is to fight the Treant until it's weakened, and then use the spell on it. The rest lies in Ellen's hands.
All right, then teach me that spell.
I will. Close your eyes for a moment. Valeth Sareswen, Joras Varltar. So, did it work?
I think so, yes.
Good. Then use it at the right moment, when the Treant is weakened enough. Now go. And good luck. My prayers are with you.
Corporal?
Well, child's play.
All right, here we go. Arlen said we should cast the spell once the Treant is weakened.
However, we're supposed to do that.
Just focus. We can do this.
Focus, Syria. Focus. That's it! Cast the spell, now! Did it work?
I think so. Can you hear us?
Yes. Taint gone. Roots free. You friends. You saved. Broken roots. Broken branches. Mid-sleep.
I think we should report back to the village now. Arlen and Varden will be thrilled to hear the news.
Fenrir, it's done.
So, the spell worked?
Yes, it was a hard fight, but the Treant is cleansed. The corruption seems to be over.
That is remarkable. Ellen must have truly smiled upon you.
Maybe.
Truth be told, it's a bit ironic that it was a human who saved our people from this plague. But I'm just glad it's over.
I'm afraid it isn't. There's still the Bane who have taken over the Nortander outpost.
Yes, but we can deal with them.
Be that as it may, we held our end of the bargain. Will you help us?
Yes. Yes, we will. I've said it before. We are a small people, but you will have our help whenever you need it. We will send you a scryer and a division of our best soldiers and craftsmen to support your cause.
You'll have to give us time, though. A couple of days, maybe. We have to pick up the pieces the corruption left first. Where can we find you?
We've set up camp in a valley in Iskander. We can leave you a map.
Yes, do that. I'd invite you to stay for some days, but I'm assuming you have another matter to attend to.
A lot of them, actually.
Well then, this is goodbye. Thank you again for everything, friend. And may Ellen guide you.
Seems like the Moorhair elves have arrived. Good.
Yeah, just be careful.
Why?
Well, that scryer they sent, she claims to know you. I think she was there in Leonon.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. I'll talk to her as soon as I get the chance.
In any case, with our new allies, we should be able to go look for the stones. Let's talk at the forge.